Is it just me, or does it seem like your video game companies are becoming boring, predictable, and undeserving of our money? Like the movie industry lately, games are not evolving. All we seem to get each year is slight changes of the same exact games from year to year. I remember a time when if a video game changed its formula, it would be a major change, and for the better. Part 2 of a game used to mean things like going from the second to the third dimension. Nowadays, we can't even get an upgrade in graphics when sequels come out. Today on Unlimited Gameplay, we're going to throw some suggestions out into the ether explaining the games that we really wish we were able to play. These suggestions are not out of the reach of today's video game technology. I feel they are what should already be happening in video games right now. We're tired of playing the same game with a new number at the end of its title. If the companies that are currently making the most popular games don't jump on these suggestions, I'm hoping we can find an independent company that we can raise funds and give to so they can make what we actually want to play and should be playing right now. Note, this list isn't comprehensive, so I encourage you guys that are viewing to also add your own suggestions in the comment section below. Number 1, the VR WWE game. It seems like game companies will take 2 steps forward then 1 step back. They all said they would embrace VR once the frame rates and other VR tech mumbo jumbo had become mainstream. Well, guess what? I have a Sony VR and I've dabbled with Meta's Oculus Rift. They are ready for new and innovative games now. I understand that a lot of people don't want to be standing up and walking around a room blind when playing video games because it's dangerous, and it will remove any doubt about how much of a doofus you are if anyone sees you. So how can they pull off wrestling in VR? Very simple, by putting you in a new position of someone in the audience that they now call the WWE Universe. Maybe WWE Universe should be the name of this game. Imagine grabbing any seat in the house while surrounded by stark-raving fans chanting their favorite wrestler's slogan. Imagine sitting in the audience as the crowd loses their collective minds as a legend's music hits. I want all of my senses to tell me that I'm there at an actual event, and I will be sure to include the best headphones I've ever played video games with, which is in the link above. And that's to make sure that the atmosphere is as intense and as realistic as possible. Everyone says that being at a live WWE show is a completely different experience than watching it at home. I went to WrestleMania in Florida one of these years, and I totally agree, even though my seats were pretty far back. Now the kicker would be that you are the only one sitting in the audience with a video game controller in your hand. Well, maybe your opponent can be sitting in the audience on the other side of the stadium. You press a button on your controller and your superstar in the ring does whatever you make him do. This doesn't have to be some ultra-realistic recording-looking graphics either. I mean, I would hope they put some spit shine on the graphics, but I wouldn't mind a fighting engine from the old NWO versus WCW game from the 2000s. I think this would be the perfect way to showcase wrestling and give you a different experience and bring us into the present of video game experiences. Almost the same idea I envisioned for wrestling is how I want to see Street Fighter in VR. We don't need the fake fight in the living room with motion controllers. I would prefer to watch and control a fight with classic Street Fighter characters doing all of their special moves only 5 feet away from my face. The original Street Fighter 2 used to have a lot of people gathering around to watch the fights. A comedian named Roy said they were actually doing commerce in the background of most levels. Although they look like flipbook animation, I believe they were standing in the perfect spot to insert a gamer in VR. Imagine looking up at Zangief as he intimidatingly walks past you toward an opponent to grab and do a spinning power driver to that you get to look up in the air as he goes up. Imagine a whole room glowing blue right before Ryu shoots a fireball at his opponent. Imagine all of your senses experiencing every part of being dangerously too close to an angry human nuclear experiment. And the only thing you don't experience is the heat coming from his hands. I want to be in control of the fighter who is standing right in front of me, and when I press down, down, forward, forward punch on my controller, the whole room starts to light up. I think VR Street Fighter should make it where it feels like you're in attendance at an underground fighting circuit with superhuman characters. Now Capcom, what are you waiting for? The trailer for Street Fighter 6 already looks to be heading in this direction. I hope you add VR. And yes, we will be willing to do the microtransactions for slight variations of character outfits. With virtual reality headsets like Oculus Rift and Sony VR, there are endless possibilities of new types of interactive video game experiences. We don't always have to be the game character. We would love to just control them in a realistic setting. I always thought that sitting takes away some of the experience of being in VR. but until the Professor X game comes out, we wouldn't mind sitting in the audience. Alright, number 3 is a real next-gen Call of Duty experience. One of the list items I had on here was proximity chat, but since the new Call of Duty has that, and I appreciate it, I'm going to erase that part off of my list. But anyway, this is not another VR suggestion, or if you have a VR suggestion for Call of Duty, make sure you leave it in the comments. I recently played Black Ops 4 for PS4. I could say with complete confidence that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is better than Vanguard and Cold War combined. The new Modern Warfare is dope. Instead of getting better when it comes to server quality, connecting, and playing with friend glitches and game freezes, these games have actually been getting worse. That's until Modern Warfare 2. One of the most popular videos I have is showing people how to stop Vanguard from literally destroying your console, and you can check that out in the link above. With that being said, any upgrade of Call of Duty needs to prioritize fixing an insane amount of regular video game flaws that should have been fixed in beta. When they're done with that, these are the steps they need to take to bring Call of Duty into the present. I'm confident that the reason we've been riding with Activision is we have hope. I guess we're gonna have to wish that these are available on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. First is face capture. I remember seeing some very good face capture tech back on the PS2. Why haven't they continued improving on this? In Call of Duty, it would be awesome to see the faces of your friends on your team of soldiers in either Warzone or multiplayer. I think this alone would minimize team killing, make players focus more on objective games instead of just going for kills, and make everyone play more as a team. You and your group will actually feel something horrible in your hearts if your actual friends are being killed in game. The next one there was close proximity vocal pickup, and they've done that on the new Modern Warfare 2 game, which is enjoyable. The only thing that I wish is that when someone is far away, it sounds like they're far away, and you can just hear a little hint of their voices. And then when they get closer, you start to hear them more clearly. But other than that, I love the proximity chat, and that was one of the things that I had on this list. Alright, and the next one is a controversial topic about Call of Duty, but we want console play only. The Ricochet they created, that didn't work. I've come to the conclusion that the only reason people play Call of Duty on PC is to cheat the console players. There's no other reason to play a game this action-packed while sitting in front of your computer monitor in your little dungeon instead of on a big screen. Console players are so sick and tired of going through an entire half-hour of Warzone just to get shot by a wall-hacking, aim-botting loser in the final minutes of the game. Crossplay was a great addition to Call of Duty. PlayStation players love playing with Xbox players and vice versa, but no one likes playing against PC players. Put all of the PC players in a Call of Duty lobby by themselves and let them cheat each other to death. That PC game should have a mode where if you're caught playing without a hack, you get banned. That's it for Call of Duty. Call of Duty is one of my favorite games, so if they keep up with some new improvements, I'll keep on playing. Alright, so number 4 is the X-Men/Overwatch game. I mean, come on now, y'all. How has no one thought of this yet? This game practically makes itself. We love escorting the payload, we love breaking teams into tank, speed characters, and so on. We also like Wilson, Tracer, Bastion, and the rest of the original characters that the Blizzard team came up with. But do you know who we love? Cyclops, Beast, Iceman, Colossus, and Rogue. We especially love Wolverine, the Juggernaut, Gambit, and Storm. I don't know, and I don't care who has what licenses. If what I saw in Spider-Man No Way Home movie is possible, then damn it, the X-Men game based on the Overwatch engine is possible too. Man, I would be happy if they just started introducing X-Men characters into Overwatch one by one. But how cool would it be for the levels to be X-Mansion or the Danger Room? Or that weird country club that Jean Grey got caught up in? Or that little island Magneto hung out on? Imagine Colossus and the Juggernaut being the 2 tanks you get to choose from. Make sure y'all get Jim Lee to do the artwork, and this game will be the equivalent of a server room size money printing machine. Everyone who has ever played a video game and enjoyed anything about the X-Men would buy this game immediately. And they'll buy a whole lot of the microtransaction features that I'm sure will be kept hostage. We don't care. Set it up. All right, y'all. So that was my suggestions on what gamers want and what game companies need to make right now. If you have any other suggestions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll be sure to read them and then probably add them to the next list if I ever make another one. But as of now, thanks for joining Unlimited Gameplay. Make sure you leave your comments in the section below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and check out all of the videos that I be streaming online, including the little shorts when I kill people or just have a great time or something interesting happens. All right, y'all, I will check y'all out next time. Peace.